Dear students, in the last class we studied Ohm's law. What it says? The potential difference V across a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, provided its temperature remains same, constant. That expression is given in the mathematical form V is equal to R into I, where R is called resistance of that particular conductor. And if you write R, which is nothing but V by I, the ratio of the potential difference and current flowing through the circuit is a constant term. It depends on the material or the conductor itself, and that is called resistance. The property of the conductor to obstruct or to resist the flow of electric charges is called resistance. Ohm is the SI unit of resistance. And if you see this expression, the current is resistance and current are inversely proportional. If resistance of conductor is more, then what it says? The current flowing through the conductor is less. And we have seen the metals like copper, aluminium, etc. They have less resistance. Obviously, the current is flowing through them easily. They are good conductors. And we have high resistance material like rubber or plastic. It is very difficult to move the charged particle. Current is not at all, flow of the current is not at all possible. They are called insulators. And in between we have appreciable good quantity resistance. That particular material we call it as resistors. And in the experiments, usually we won't change the voltage supply or potential difference as we did yesterday, right? But usually, if they want to change the current, they will use an component called variable resistance. It is called variable resistance, where by changing the length of the resistor, we can change the current flowing through it. And the instrument we will use to change the resistance is called rheostat. The instrument which change the resistance, the device, it will change the resistance, okay. So they won't change the potential difference, instead they will change the resistance. And you know, resistance and current are inversely proportional. So if they increase the resistance, current value in the circuit decreases. If you reduce the resistance, the current value increases. By that they will do that. Now what we will learn in today's class? In today's class we will learn what are the factors that determine, that influence the resistance of a material. The factors affecting the resistance. Which are the factors which affect the resistance? That we will study in today's class. Usually we will take nichrome, the material, it is an alloy I said yesterday, nichrome we will take, and we will check the current flowing it in a circuit, simple circuit. So we need one circuit, source of potential difference, one switch to make and break, and for reading current ammeter we need, now here at these 2 points, which material we have to use to find the resistance and what is the relationship between the current flowing through that, we can check it. And measurement of current we will find out by using the ammeter, okay. Now we will take first a nichrome wire, say 20 centimeter nichrome wire, and at the point A and B, between that point we will fix it, that one nichrome wire, and we will measure the current. We will measure the current. It has got a particular resistance, whatever it is. Now you change the wire, whatever wire you have taken, now take the double of it. If you take 20 centimeter, next you take 40 centimeters. Don't change the thickness of the wire, take the length only, increase it to double. Okay, so first you have taken L in it, now you have changed this into 2L unit. You do it. First you have to take the length L and measure the current I, then take 2L, double the length. It is found that the current reduced to half. Current is reduced now. When length is increased, current decreased, and we got the measurement. It is I by 2. And next stage, what you have to do? You have to take the same material, wire or that conducting material, nichrome, but you change the thickness now. First you have taken L in it. Now you take the same length, same material, but it alter the thickness. So you now take much thicker material, nichrome, thick material you take now. Okay, length you take L only. Now what they observed, the current is more now. The current I is more now than the first case. The first case, it is the second case, the third case. So current is more now than the first case. When thickness is increased, current is also increased. The thickness of the conducting material, when you increase, the current flowing through that also found to be increased than the first one, which is very thin wire. And lastly, take the same thickness and same length but different material, copper you take. You take the same length, say L unit, whatever you have taken, and same thickness. First when you are taken this one, first stage you did, no, same thickness you take, but instead now you take a copper wire and see the current. Again the current will change now when you change the material, and it is found to be more when you use nichrome and copper. When you used copper, more current started to flow through the copper wire. So the fourth stage, the current fourth case, it is more than the first one which you use the nichrome wire. Now what we observed in these experiments, when the length is increased, current is decreased. Now what we say about the resistance, how it is possible? Just we have changed the wire's length, its resistance also changes, and by the resistance change we found the current also changed. Now current is reduced when you increase the length of the wire. What it means? It is inverse, that is decreases, means current decreases means its inverse is increasing value. So what will increase now? The factor which influence the current is nothing but the resistance of that material. So current decreases when you increase the length of the material, the conducting wire. It means the resistance here decreases, its opposite increases. So what we say, when you increase the length of the conducting material, the resistance of that material increases. So resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conducting material. So I will write the resistance of the conductor R directly proportional to the length of the conducting material. That we observed. More the length, current reduced, it means its resistance obviously more in the second case. When the length is doubled, current reduced to half, right? So its resistance increases, that is why current decreases. Then what we found, the thickness we increase in the second stage. When we increase the thickness of the conducting wire, actually in mathematically in thickness is referred as area of cross section. If you take any material and cut it, that we will call it as thickness, right? But it is area of the cross section. So when you increase the area of the cross section, what we found, current flowing through the conducting material is more. Current more means resistance obviously less, right? So when you increase the thickness, when you increase the area of cross section, the resistance decreases. So one value increases, another value decreases, means it is inversely proportional. Direct proportion means in the mathematics, if one value increases, the depending other value also increases. Inverse means if one value increases, the depending value other value decreases. Here thickness increases, current is more, obviously what is less? The resistance. The second factor, the resistance is depend on its area of cross section. Thickness is nothing but area of cross section. It is inversely proportional. So how we write inversely proportional? 1 over that value. Area we will write usually by the term letter A. So resistance of the conductor depend on the directly on the length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section or thickness of the material. Now you club together these two in a one expression or one term, what we get? The resistance R is proportional to L by A. L length directly proportional, area inversely proportional, or if you want to write the equal sign, by using proportionality constant rho, we will use this sign. It is called rho sign and it is L by A. So this is the expression or this is the formula we will get now. Now what is this rho called? This is the rho, it is the proportionality constant, but in this case it is called resistivity. Here rho is called resistivity. What is resistivity? It is the characteristic nature, resistance of the material. Whichever material we have taken, it has got its own resistance value, right? Now, in resistivity is the property of the material itself. So, resistance of a conductor depends on mainly three things. One is length of the conductor, second one is area of the cross section of the conductor, and third one is the material itself. What material we have taken, that also determine the resistance of the conductor. Okay. So each material, copper have its own resistance, iron has its own resistance, silver has got its own resistance. It is changing from material to material. Now if you want to find this resistivity value, or what is the meaning of definition of resistivity, very simple, using this equation I will get now. What is the formula we got? R is equal to resistivity into length into area of cross section. If you bring all this to here, it is A into R by L is equal to resistivity. It is in the denominator, so it will come to numerator, and the length is in the numerator, it comes to denominator. Now, what is this unit now, or how to express this? Take this area is in meters square, area is in meter square, and what is the unit of resistance? It is ohm, it is, and what is the unit of length is again meter. So you will get a meter, ohm meter. So the unit of resistivity, its unit is ohm meter. We'll say ohm meter. It is ohm meter, and it's how they will determine its resistivity of any material. Resistivity is nothing but it is A by L. A by L into R. So what they will do? They will take a one area of cross section and 1 meter here. Area of the cross section is 1 meter square. Length is 1 meter. That is, they will take a cube of 1 meter side, and they will make the current to flow through that. They'll find the resistance. Then that resistance, when all become one here, the resistance of this material become its resistivity. That is the thing. Okay. So 1 meter cube, that bigger conductor they will take, they'll pass the current across its faces, opposite to that faces, and they'll find the resistance. That resistance is the characteristic of that material. We call it as resistivity. Now, if you see the table, in textbook, it is page number 101. In page number 101, children, in your textbook, if you observe, they are given the resistivity table they are given. If you observe carefully, conductors that are metals, they are good conductors. See their resistivity. Silver, the topmost metal, they have written it is a very, very good conductor. What is the reason? See its resistivity. It is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 8 it is. Very, very less it is. Right? Then slowly it increases resistivity. Copper also good conductor of electricity. Aluminium. Tungsten. What is tungsten, children? This is the material they will use in the filament of the bulb. If you see your bulb, it has got thin filament inside. When current flow through that, due to its resistance, heat is given. You have learned in the small class heating effect, right? So when any current flow through any material, it will resist by the material conduct. We call it a resistance. And that resistance, to overcome that resistance, energy is used to overcome that resistance in the form of heat. So it gets heated up, that conductor. And by that filament tungsten, when get heated up by the flow of current, it become red hot and white and it gives light. So filament of the bulb, usually they will make use of tungsten. It has got quite good resistance. Then if you see copper and aluminium, it has got very less resistance. So they are very good conductors. They will use in the transmission wire in your houses, and the wires are made up of either aluminium or copper. Red color metal, you can see, no, it is copper because they have less resistance. And in this table, if you come down, you will get alloys now. Alloys have quite sufficient appreciable resistance, right? It is almost, if you see the nichrome, where all your heating devices, like it may be toaster, or it may be water heater, or it may be electric iron, etc. It has got material made up of nichrome, the alloy, where its resistance is more. So you will get compared to metals, the alloys have much good appreciable good quantity of resistance, and these alloys they will not react with oxygen at high temperature. Also they will not react with oxygen. You have seen some metals like iron will react with oxygen in presence of water in it, they get rusted, right? And but in case of alloys, they will not so easily react with the oxygen, and they are quite high resistance. So that is the reason they will use to make the heating devices, instruments which will work heating device, they will use that one. Okay, this one nichrome. Then if you see this table, glass or it may be your paper, etc., still their resistance is more, we call them as insulators. So that about the table showing the resistivity. And just will do one problem, how they will give the problem based on this resistivity, and you will come to know how to work out. It is in the page number 103. Example problem I am taking, but still you see how to solve this one. A wire of given material having length L, a wire of given material having length L and area of cross section length is L. Length is L and it has got area of cross section. Area of cross section which is equal to A, and its resistance, and at that time its resistance is equal to R1 we will take is equal to, they are given 4 ohm. 4 ohm. The question is, what would be the resistance? What would be the resistance? R2 we have to find out. What is R2 of another wire of same material? Material is same material, but their length is increased, changed into, the length is now, in the second case, the length is L by 2. And area of cross section is area of cross section. Area of cross section is, they are given, it is 2A. In first case, length is L and area of cross section is A. At that time, resistance R1 is 4 ohm. Now, in the second case, the resistance is don't know, we have to find R2, but they are given length as L by 2, same material it is, and area of cross section changed into 2A. Now, how to find R2? Just we will use the formula. What is the formula? R is equal to rho into L by A. So, first case R1, it is equal to rho into L into A. Length is L and area of cross section is A only. Rho we don't know, rate as it is. What is R1 they are given? It is nothing but R1 is given as 4 ohm. So, it is 4 ohm. Let it be first equation. Now, second equation is R2 is equal to same material. So, rho will not change. Now, length is becoming L by 2 and area is 2A. Right? Area is 2A, length is L by 2, second case. And if you simplify this, it is rho into L. This 2 will come to in the denominator. 2 into 2 is 4, 4A. Or I can write, it is 1 by 4, I will keep it outside. Then rho L by A, or this full value, what we got in equation 1, rho into L into A is nothing but R1, 4 ohm it is. So, it is 1 by 4 into 4 ohm. If you cut this one, you will get 1 ohm. So, resistance R2 is 1 ohm. That is the problem. So, sometimes they will give not direct problem. In this way, they will give the problem. Sometimes you should be able to solve. Now, see the same page, some extra questions, check whether you understood the chapter or not. They are given. You give me the answer now. Will you think and say the answer with yourself? I will give the answer, okay? On what factors does the resistance of a conductor depend? Today we studied, no? Tell me, think. What are the factors, children? First one, length of the conductor. L, it depends, directly depends. And second one is its the area of cross section, thickness. Indirect resistance is indirectly proportional to the area of the cross section. And third factor is the material itself, the nature of the material. These three important factors, the resistance of the conductor depends. Second question, will current flow more easily through a thick wire or a thin wire of the same material when connected to the same source, and why? What is the reason? What's your answer? You got it correctly. In a thick wire, current will flow much, and in thin wire, current flow with the less amount. What is the reason? Because if it is broad space, the free electrons have availability of space to flow is more in a broader or thick area of the cross section. Area of cross section is more, thickness is more, the free electrons get much place to move within the surface, and it is easily current will flow. That is the reason. Third one, let the resistance of an electrical component remains constant while the potential difference across the two ends of the component decreases to half. Then what about the value of the current? When potential difference decreases to half, what about the current, children? Will it increase or decrease? Tell me first. It will increase. According to Ohm's law, the voltage and current are in a direct proportional. If voltage is more, current is more. If current is more, voltage is more. So if voltage is reduced to half, the current also reduced to its half value. Then next question, why are the coils of the electric toasters and electric irons are made up of alloy rather than pure metal? Just now I said pure metal have the less resistance. So heat, whenever current flow through the pure metal, the heat energy given out is less due to less resistance. But in alloys, the resistance is quite more than the pure metals, and they won't react with oxygen usually at high temperature. These two good qualities made us to use alloy instead of pure metals in the heating devices like iron box or a toaster, etc. Next one, last one. Using the table, you have to answer. The table is the previous table which we have seen. This table you have to see and tell. The first question is, which among iron and mercury is better conductor? Better conductor means what you have to check? Its resistance should be less or more? It should be less. Now see the table, iron and mercury. Which has got less resistance in the table? It is in the increasing order of the resistance they have written, descending or ascending order they have written. So iron has got less resistance compared to mercury. So iron is good conductor than the better conductor than the mercury. Second question is, which is the best conductor? If you see the table, the silver has got the least resistance. It is the best conductor, but in practically we are not using silver. Instead we are using the next little more than silver resistance is copper, because silver, as you know, it is very costly. Then wire next day itself may not be there if you use silver wire in your house, isn't it, or any place. We won't use silver. So that is the end of today's chapter, children. And in the next class, we will study how the resistors can be connected. If there are many resistors, if they are connected different ways, especially two ways, either in a series manner, I will explain it in the next class, or another manner is in a parallel manner. In series manner, one resistor next to that another, end to end they are connected, and what are the changes in the current or what is the total resistance of the system, that we have to see. And next possibility is, if you connect the resistors one parallel to other, that is the end points all you can connect together to the voltage source if you supply. Now how it works, what is the total resistance of the system and which is good one, and we'll solve some problems related to that. Meanwhile, next week you are having the test, children. Be ready for that. Read the lesson again and again. Application type questions they are giving. Okay? And learn today's lesson also. Thank you.